Welcome back to the Smut and Study podcast. I'm Natalie. This is Amanda.
Amanda, nice to meet you guys.
Again. Today,
We are talking about our favorite,
A
Court of Mist and Fury. Second book in the Akatar series, the best book.
Thick girl. We're moving on up.
And you know this is a good one because there's tabs. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
There's tabs.
I tabbed this and I highlighted this. I got really into it, clearly.
Yeah.
I hated it, obviously.
Worst book ever.
Worst
no.
freaking book ever. Don't even know what people are talking about. No. This book, devoured it in a day or two. Definitely was different from the first one. Like, Sarah J. Maas really, upped her game. Like, she gave us a little, sprinkle, and then she was like, bam!
Last 100 pages. Last 100 pages. I'm telling you, the theory is true. Everything crumbles.
Yeah, holy crap. All right, so we'll kind of talk about the end of the first book and the beginning of this book to kind of catch everyone up. So the end of the first book, basically, Feyre, Tamlin, and all of them are going back to the Spring Court. They leave from underneath the mountains. So at this point, Feyre is at the Spring Court. And she has her little bond with Rhysand with the tattoo and how she has to meet with him every month, yada yada yada. Obviously, from the very beginning of this book, they really start crapping on Tamlin. Immediately, you can just tell she's not happy.
Yeah.
He's trying to make her a captive.
She's also sick because she just recently had turned Fae herself, so I mean, the whole beginning of the book is her throwing up a million times. You know, it could have just been pre-wedding jitters, though. Not that she was Fae.
Yeah, sure. Her body was literally rejecting the fact that she was about to marry this guy.
He was very proud.
Number one.
He was very proud, but then he was she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be High Lady at the Spring Court, and he's like, no, there is no such thing, ma'am.
Yeah, ew, what an ick. What an actual...
Shutting her down.
What an actual ick. Who even... that... It's that's such little boy mentality.
Yes, a little boy energy.
You're gonna, lock me away in this house, and, again, I get it. She almost died. I understand that he has, traumas that he's trying to get past himself, but, she's an adult human being. Faye now. But, you know what I mean? She's an adult person who should be able to leave the house, which is insane to me to even think about the fact that she probably still at this point really thinks that she loves him, and then the person that you love is literally telling you that you can't go outside. You're like, wait, what?
He should already know from the first book that she was sneaking out. He'd be like, oh no, stay in here, and she'd be like, nope, I'm going out there.
Yeah, she was stubborn as a holly. You were gonna put her in a corner. She was definitely
no one puts baby in a corner.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But pretty much leading up to the wedding, she was terrible. For oh my gosh, there's a fucking fly.
I can't. I'm over here
That's literally all I can focus on. I'm this fucking fly right now.
And it comes and goes. Where is it?
Sir, we need you to exit the building.
Okay. So,
anyway, back to what we were saying.
Yeah, back to what we were saying. All right, so let's talk about, so we're shitting on Tamlin. We all shit on Tamlin. But let's talk about this wedding. This wedding that she's literally dreading. She has dread in her heart. The ugly ass wedding dress.
Poofy sleeves. Not pretty. Who has poofy sleeves? Come on. I know these men are old. The Fae are old, but
ew.
Get with modern times, people.
Ew. Yeah. And I mean, but the wardrobe at the night court ain't the wardrobe at the Spring Court.
Yeah. So obviously that's why she chooses night court. But
obviously. Reason one of many.
Following up to the line that we all love, Feyre is obviously going down the aisle to Tamlin, creepy Lucen with his metal eye. Inthi or
another reason.
I don't know.
Another reason. She should have just started. Could you imagine
she should have turned around,
making eye contact with that thing? I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah, what kind of court is this?
I'm done. I'm good, thanks.
So then she obviously in her head is saying, save me, help me, whatever. And then our favorite man of the hour comes in and says, hello, Feyre darling.
My number one book boyfriend. Forever and always.
He wins the cake in this book, for
And
sure.
I've read so many books, and it's like I can't put someone else above him. Like, there's just, I get doing, like, I can have multiple book boyfriends, like I do. It's a slew. There's a whole list.
It's just number one for you.
It's just number one, and I can't get past it. I don't know.
But, you know, he comes in, saves the day, calls in his little bargain saying that he's going to steal Feyre because she needs to uphold herself to the bargain. Yeah. And I just love his little comment. He's like, what a pretty little wedding. Like, he probably looked at Feyre's dress and was like, what the fuck?
You know he did. He was like,
we need to switch this shit
up.
Yeah,
he's like, where's my bad bitch at? Yeah, that ain't it.
Where's the girl in the little half-naked dress dancing on me with her little fairy wine? And then she comes to the spring court and she looks like,
ew.
She's from, like, the early, like, I don't even know, a year, 1500s.
Like, come on.
That's how you know Tamlin has terrible taste.
Everything about Tamlin is horrible.
I mean, we could go on and on about how fucking terrible Tamlin is.
Okay, so moving on. At this point, like Amanda had said that, like, he's calling in his little request, and so he takes her home and all that stuff. And, like, I know, like, if you have seen anything like on TikTok where it's like "Welcome to the Night Court" and there's like a song that plays with it that gives me goosebumps every single time, and I want to go to the night court or whatever. But I feel like this was probably like a transition for Feyre where she probably was like, oh, like, could you imagine going from the spring court to the night court? You'd be like, I want to live here.
Yeah, and especially when she's like, what is this? They're like, Valaris. I'm like, ooh, and then all I hear is the little violins in the freaking background. Every time I think of the scene, like,
makes my heart skip a beat. Is that bad? I don't know. Yeah, Valaris and, like, meeting everyone, like, that's when you really are, like, introduced with, like, everyone in
the inner circle.
Oh my god. And you're like, I want to be
part of the inner circle.
Yeah, I want to be in the inner circle for sure.
And obviously Feyre had, like, her ifs. She's like, oh my gosh, like, all these people, I don't know what to think about them. And I would have been like, we fit in. Dark side.
Yeah.
It's the dark side.
And she does. And I think that's, like, also, like, even before, like, she can admit it to herself, she, like, really gets along with, like, these people. And I'm like, not, like, I mean, she got along with, like, Lucien, but, like, coming to those people and just, like, the banter and all that sort of stuff, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, come on, girl. I need you to, I know you can't read. I need you to, like, use a brain cell or two.
But we also have to talk about how Feyre was, like, upset in the very beginning when Rhys called her for the bargain. But I was like, girl, back at the wedding, you were, like, in your head, dreading your life. So
that's like another reason of, like, how they make, like, the female characters where it's like they find every sort of reason. Like, you wanted to, like, kill yourself. Like, I'm sorry.
Jump out the window.
Yeah, like, what? Like,
and this man just saved you, and now you want to jump out a window again?
What? You ungrateful little, like, what the hell? I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of moments where I'm just like,
open your eyes, lady. Like, you are blinded.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, you cannot. Like, ew.
But, like, Rhys was so good at her. He taught her how to write, even though it was in the most vain way.
Yeah. Some of the best. I love it. I don't know. Again,
I would write that on a piece of paper. Rhysand is handsome. Rhysand is the best.
Yeah, I'd write it as many times as he wanted me to, honestly. I would do a lot of things, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how she could think that, like, him saving her was like, how dare he, or, like, the audacity. I feel like if I was Rhysand, I'd be like, you talking to me? Like, what
you the High Lord of the Night Court?
Excuse you.
But, like, I also feel, let's, like, talk about how, like, poor Feyre, she literally was put through the fucking ringer. She had a chance to go back to her family's house, stay there. She went back, sacrificed her life for stupid Tamlin, and then she has to do all those trials under the mountain. And then Rhysand, knowing all this stuff has happened, he's like, oh, we have to go to the Weaver's house, you know? We have to collect something, but you have to go in. And this poor girl goes into this Weaver's house, silent as can be, literally on her toes, sweating.
Yeah. While he's chilling in a tree somewhere.
Yeah. I just love that because I could just see Rhysand
to collect a ring that we further find out down the road what it's for. And you're like, are you?
In the beginning, you're like, what the fuck? Like, she literally almost just got eaten and ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Or what do they always say in the book? Ripped to ribbons. Shredded to ribbons.
Something like that. What do we think the Weaver looked like? Because they kind of like described her, but I felt like for a character, that was kind of hard to like really, really picture.
She kind of, I feel like her description of the Weaver was similar to the Knock or whatever, the ones that lived in the water.
Yeah.
Just like long, like oily, like looking hair.
That's good.
Black eyes.
Okay. Yeah.
But then didn't she also say about like the Weaver somewhat being pretty?
Yeah, and that's what it confused me, because I think in the beginning I thought of like the Weaver as literally being like this old, like wrinkly, like almost like witch looking sort of, and then it was like, oh, like she's like pretty, and I'm like, okay, well, scratch that. But then it's hard trying to think of someone pretty but with like
evil
black oily hair, like you know what I mean? It doesn't really like add up. But let us know
what
if
you think.
You have any different opinions on what the Weaver looked like, even though she's only a small part in the whole thing, but like still.
Yeah, but I also just love how Feyre comes out and she's like, this fucking shithead is sitting in a tree laughing. Like,
yeah, he thought it was funny.
Just relaxing. He's like, oh, I just wanted to see if you could do it. I'd be like, you fucking asshole. Oh my gosh. I would have hated him right then and there.
Yeah.
But
me too.
Rhysand can do no wrong.
No, he can't. You know who else can really do no wrong? Is the Surreal.
Yes. Love the Surreal. I literally, at first, I'm like, what is this character going to be? Like,
yeah.
Because all the creatures they explain in the book, they're so, like, creepy and scary.
Yeah.
But then, like, you actually, like, read about the Surreal, and you're like, to me, he's just like a little teddy bear. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he doesn't look like a teddy bear, but just, like.
No, I completely agree.
How honest he is.
Yeah. But I definitely, like, everything that came out of his mouth was, like, so important. Like, you could just read a bunch of nonsense in some of the words, and then whatever line he said, you were like, I know I should be paying attention to this. Like,
very really important for the other books too.
Very,
but
very
then
important.
That's how we could snowball into how we find out, or Feyre finds out, that her and Rhys are mates.
Yeah, they're mates. She was pissed.
I should have captioned that with spoiler alert, but
we've already warned you.
Yeah, we warned people.
We've warned you at this point.
This whole time she thought when he said stay with the High Lord,
it was Tamlin.
It was never Tamlin.
That's dumb bitch.
We obviously can't trust Feyre sometimes.
Yeah, her judgment is really no good for me. Okay, I can't anything. But yeah, but she was pissed because at this point Rhys had knew since he came back from underneath the mountain, which we should also talk about that freaking like moment where like he immediately comes back from underneath the mountain where he's been for how many like years, meets his family, like is reunited, and just falls to his knees and is basically like,
she's my mate,
so cute. Immediately stop breathing. Immediately breath gone.
Yeah,
so freaking good.
Audible pause during the reading.
My god, I probably read that over like multiple times. I was just like, oh my god,
wait a minute. Yeah,
so freaking sad. Like sad and like happy, because obviously like that's what we want, but like also for someone who's being like tortured and being kept from like his family for however many years and then coming back and like just like that connection. Oh my god.
And that's what I love about these books though, because like obviously you like see Rhys's story, and in the beginning he comes off so like vain and like, you know, he's the evilest person in the whole like Prythian and pretty much, but then you like get to read the backstory of all these characters and you're like, oh my god, I love this person, and like now I know why they like act that way.
I know,
like his story was so sad.
It's probably a good lesson to just like not judge someone. You know, everyone goes through like their own shit. Not to like get deeper like on the topic here, but you know what I mean? That's such a good lesson, because it's like I feel like there's so many characters in these books where you read and you're like, god, like that person's a dick or like whatever, and then you're like, oh yeah, I guess they had a right to be like, that makes sense.
But also like if they didn't add that stuff to the book, it'd be kind of boring.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. I mean, if it was so easy, like if he like saved her from the wedding and then she's like, I love you, and then they just started like
then there'd
having
be like
sex, that would be like, I mean, it'd be nice, but it would just be like there was nothing to like draw you.
It'd be the first 5 chapters of the book, him saving her from the wedding, and then it would just automatically skip to chapter 55, and then the book would end.
Maybe you should have. Maybe we just should have deleted everything else, and that's really what it should be. Because again, hopefully you're watching this because you've read this book. But chapter 55 it's like a beautiful work of art. And
yes.
I cannot get over. I probably squealed. I probably made some audible sound out of my mouth when like I actually read.
I just remember sitting on the couch and my fiance, I'm just like, oh my God. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, nothing. Oh my gosh, nothing. But I mean, it was a good, oh my God. It was a good, oh my God.
It's, the whole chapter is a good, oh my God. Yeah. It's something that you want to like read all the time.
Yeah.
Like I would just love to like reread it like every day.
And like his tattoo on his knees, the mountains and the stars.
Oh my God.
Do you like the way I look kneeling before you, Feyre?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. 100 times yes.
Hard yes. If I could break my neck nodding, I would.
But like they always are saying, like, someone enjoyed chapter 55 when there's a crease in the book and it flips open to chapter 55. I don't know if this book will do it, but
I don't think I creased it enough.
No, you didn't crease it enough.
Sorry.
Well, it opens to chapter 45. We're 10 chapters off, but close enough.
Maybe there was something really good in 45.
That's when she finds out that it's his mate because they go to
see?
Yeah, it works out.
Okay.
It works out.
Okay. Yeah, so we go from chapter 55 and, at this point, she's accepted. She's forgiven him. Yeah. They're mates. Like, they're doing their thing, clearly. But another really sweet part, but also kind of funny because I feel like the internet has just made it funny when I really didn't think it was that funny, was like the soup part when it was like them eating soup about like them like loving each other. I think that is, so when I read it, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I like got on the internet and people were like, she gave him soup.
Campbell's chicken noodle soup. She like popped the can open.
Brand. Just like not even Campbell's.
The Surreal's chicken noodle soup.
Just utterly ridiculous. Like, yeah. Sarah J. Maas probably thought that was really good when she wrote it. Like, she probably like, oh, this is it.
This is the cake.
And then the internet took over and she was like, God, I should have had him like have a steak or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the internet is just, it's Feyre though. Come on. She couldn't read and write in the beginning of the book, and now here soup was the only thing in her cookbook.
That was it. That was all she had. Yeah. Yeah. They were poor. She wasn't cooking anything. So
no, but let's also talk about what happened to her sisters. Okay, so skipping forward, Nesta and Elaine get sold out by, this is why we hate Tamlin.
Another reason added to the list.
They get thrown into the cauldron, the lovely cauldron. And Feyre's freaking the F out.
I would freak out.
I would freak out too because her poor sister, she did anything for her sisters, even though I feel like they would not reciprocate for her. They get thrown into the cauldron, they turn Fae. Obviously, that's the badass scene of Nesta going in and she's fucking pointing a finger, or when she comes out, whatever.
That also should have just been like a clue on how we knew her book was going to be badass. So she was just like a badass bitch.
It was just a badass in the book.
It was. It was a foreshadowing for sure.
Because you're like, oh, she was a bitch in the beginning, and now she's even more of a bitch, but in a good way. Damn. And then Elaine comes out. Poor fucking Elaine. There she is, popping out of this cauldron, scared as shit, and fucking Lucy. Mr. Metal Eye is right in her face. You're my mate. You're my mate. Sir,
could you
take a step back?
Could you like imagine the most traumatic fucking thing? I mean, we all know at this point that I would gladly throw myself in that cauldron. But like at the time, like that's not what they wanted. Like whatever. And Elaine comes out. She's scarred. Like she's just been through this traumatic thing. And then Lucian's just like, hey baby, like you're my mate. Like excuse me, like creepy.
I'd be like, what? Oh my God, jump back in.
I'd be like, no.
But of course, Feyre is crying, freaking out, and then it gets to the sad part of the book where the only way she could save the sisters is by breaking the bond between her and Rhys and going back with Tamlin.
I cried at this part.
It was
sad.
It
was really also hard to not read ahead for like this part too, because it's like sometimes I find myself when it's like super like something traumatic is happening in the book and like I think someone's gonna die or something's happening, my eyes want to dart forward to like read a few words to see like what happened, and I really tried like not to do that, and I didn't, but I was just like actually panicking because I was just like, again, didn't know what's to come at the time, so I had no idea. I was just brand new baby reading into this like universe, and I was just like, she's about to traumatize me. Like, they make you fall in love with Rhys and Feyre and their bond, and then she's gonna be like, you know what, let's just fuck shit up and break the bond. You're like, oh my god.
Yet again, the last 100 pages.
Yet again.
But I actually, when I was reading it, I felt like, I was like, oh no, there has to be like some type of trick up their sleeve. But then when the tattoo actually was removed from her arm, when they broke the bond, I literally started hyperventilating, freaking out a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, no, this is real. This is real.
This is happening. Something's happening here. Yeah. No, so I panicked.
I panicked too. I was like, oh no.
I really panicked. Again, that was probably another moment where I was very like audible while reading, and Shane was probably like, are you okay? Are you all right? What's going on? What's happening? And then they don't understand. Like, you can be in the middle of something and like your man or your significant other is like, what's happening? And you're just like, try to explain, and they're just like, yeah, sure. Like, it's over their head, and you're like, you don't understand.
You don't know what the conjuring does to someone.
Like, my universe is being shattered around me, and they're just like, yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, you're crying. I probably texted Natalie at this point and was like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened, blah, blah, blah. I read a few pages further down the line, and then the most badass thing happens.
The most badass thing happens. And we're going to read it to you because I can't. Yeah. All right. So at this point, he basically goes back and like.
Oh, we have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest. This is Jameis.
He came for the most important part.
He knew what was going on. Okay, he's a smart kitty. Okay, so basically, Rhys right now like goes home, and Moore is like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, you need to like go get her." And Rhys's lines were, "She is my mate and my spy, and she is the high lady of the night court." And Moore kind of whispers like, "What?" And he's like goes on and just, you know, caresses a mental finger down the bond that's hidden deep, deep within us. Also freaking out on this one. If they had removed her other glove, they would have seen a second tattoo on her right arm. Like, my mind's exploding. The twin to the other. Inked last night when we crept out, found a priestess, and I swore her in as my high lady. Wow. So good. Okay. And then not concert, Armin blurted, blinking. I hadn't seen her surprised in centuries. And then he goes, not consort, not wife. Feyre is high lady of the night court, my equal in every way. She would wear my crown, sit on a throne beside mine, never sidelined, never designed to breeding and parties in child rearing, my queen. I also put a heart. You can't see it, but I put a heart next to my queen, and I also highlighted the crap out of all of that. And if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I mean, my reading was probably horrible, so I do apologize for that. But if that does not make your heart skip or you blush or you give you goosebumps at that, I was losing my marbles.
No, I was definitely losing my marbles too, because you just like literally get done crying and then you read that and you're like, fuck yeah. And you're like, fuck you, Tamlin. Yeah. There's a high lady. Yeah. Maybe not at your court. But this one.
That was also, again, the last 100 pages, because it shocks you into being like, oh my God, this horrible thing happens. And then it drops a bomb of like happiness. And then it's like, oh my God, like Feyre is going into the spring court and Tamlin like thinks he's won. And now she's like a spy and shit. And you're like, ooh. Yeah, you're like, oh my God. And then immediately pick up the third book.
Yeah, I know. You just have to pick up the third book.
Immediately.
You're like flipping through the pages like, yeah, this isn't it. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, no.
Immediately.
A little panic attack there.
Yeah. And we would also like to know, you know, we did it like a quick little synopsis of like the book, but drop your comments below if you have any other quotes that we may have missed or any other like
Or your
favorite part, comedic or serious, or things that we might have missed. And we're not professionals here, so
Definitely not.
So, if you're just like watching this and you're just like, those bitches got it wrong in order or anything like that, I apologize, but it'll be okay.
All right, so we'll kind of get into the fun part of which we think will be the fun part
Yeah.
of the book, kind of going over the characters, our opinions on the characters, why we hate certain characters.
And we waited until the end for this because we knew that if we talked about these certain people in the middle of all of this, it would have been game over. It would have been game over. It would have just been like however many minutes long this video is of us just talking about the Bat Boys. That's it.
That is the main star of the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I can't.
Let's start with this. When did you start to hate Tamlin?
I definitely started to hate. I started to hate Tamlin probably the beginning of it. I want to say the end of the first book, but I don't think I was there yet. Like, I still
there was some hope.
Yeah, there was some hope, and again, I still didn't know this whole universe. Like, I didn't know really what was going on. So I think that, like, I want to say the end of the book, but it was probably the beginning of this one. Like, the wedding and stuff, like, as soon as all of that was going down, or when she was having her panic attacks, or, like, the fact that, like, she basically, like, wasn't eating anything, and like, Tamlin was like, you look so good, and she's, like, basically super skinny, and Rhysand was like, you need to eat. Like, we need meat on your bones. Yeah. You're like, yes, what a king.
It's like he wanted her to be weak because he didn't want her to do anything. But, like you said earlier, like, from the standpoint of, like, oh, she, like, pretty much almost died, and, like, he wanted to protect her, but, like, there's ways of, like, protecting someone.
Yeah.
Rather than
he just
went locking them up in a fucking square box.
Yeah, a square box. Yeah, a square box. He went all out. He was like, she's my captive now. And you're like, whoa, buddy.
This is also why we love the internet, because I was just about to say his real name now. Tamlin is now Tampon.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yes, he is.
So,
and if you don't
say tampon in the near future, you know who we're talking about.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't agree with that, then, you can give us your opinion on the comments below. Yeah, again, we won't judge. We're not judging here. But I also feel like you read comments like on the internet and people are like, oh, Elaine and Tamlin are going to get together. And you're like, what drugs are you on?
Like, I can see how that works just because of the fact that, like, spring court, she likes flowers and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but, like, Sarah J. Maas is going to have to, like, resurrect that man's character for me to be like, oh, yeah, like, I want to.
We will go into reasons why it gets worse. But,
like, let me resurrect the reasons why, like.
Yeah, and, like, I feel like I've also seen a theory online where someone's like, oh, like, Tamlin's actually mates with Elaine, and Lucian was just, like, covering it up to get her into, like, the spring court. And I'm like, why is Tamlin just, like, the littlest man on this planet? Like, if it really was.
Let us know if you guys also think that. I hope that's not the case.
I hope that's not the case either.
I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad.
What was that April Fool's joke that everybody, like, posted the cover of the next book, and it was like a court of spring and decay or whatever? And I was like, no.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I feel like Tamlin could have, like, his little, like, a little novella book.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I do like all the characters in the book, and, like, it would be nice to know their little story, but there would be so many little books.
Yeah. There's so many good characters they could do, like, so much on, but I don't know. You read the series and Tamlin's, like, dead to me.
Yeah, no.
We call him Tampon on the internet, and now I'm supposed to be like, yay, like, make a comeback? Like, how can you come back from that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Someone has to be the villain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple in this book, but
someone has to be. Yeah, someone.
Yeah, he could take spot number, like, 5 or something. I don't know.
Something like that. But okay, and then Lucian in this book kind of just.
It's like he's like Tamlin's, like, bitch boy.
Yeah, like he loses a few notches from me in this book a little bit. Like, he's definitely, like, the bitch boy, and then just, like, again, the aggressive, like, like, it was, like, immediately, like, he's like, you're mine, I own you,
like,
and you're like,
it was like, pick me, like, you pick me, like, you come out of the cauldron, you're like, she's mine. Well, I gotta say, she's mine.
This girl is straight up, like, traumatized to this man. I don't know.
Yeah, but he definitely lost brownie points, because in the first book I was like, yeah, Lucian, me. Now I'm kind of like, Lucian. You know, just another one.
Yeah. Just another one. 2 peas in a pod, Tamlin and him. I don't know.
And then obviously throughout this whole episode, we've been talking about how much we love Rhysand. So I feel like we don't even need to touch on that man because
that man could do no wrong.
Yeah, no.
I also hate the theories of people being like, oh, like, you know, that he's like really like the villain in all of this, like secretly, and like the next book it's gonna be about him and like actually like what he's been doing. And I'm like, you shut
she
up.
already portrayed him as the villain in the very first book.
I'm like, shut
how
up.
How many times are you gonna make him the villain?
Shut up, that man.
But that leaves us then the inner circle. Who's your favorite out of Mor, Amren, Cassian, and Azriel?
Okay, you already know my answer to this, which is kind of funny. Okay, so my probably next, like after Rhysand, would have to be Azriel. Okay, I just think that man is a freak. Okay,
Sarah J. Maas said it herself.
I think it's like always the quiet ones, and he's like quiet and doesn't really say that much, but like the way they describe his looks and like the fan art on that man, whew, is smoking hot. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like more in like armor. Like I don't know. I think it was just hard. Like for this, like these books focus so much like on Feyre and then like eventually like the sisters, or at least like Nessa more, that the other female character is like almost hard to like
we got to know more kind of more
in this book, and I like her. Like I don't like have any real bad things to say about like the two of them, but again, because I think it's just like females and just like you're just so focused on like Feyre and like it being like her world that we're all like kind of reading about, that you're just like, yeah, Feyre, you know what I mean? Like as far as like in our circle, like I'd pick her over, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because like now that obviously we've read the whole series and I've been seeing like other theories about this person, I have some choice words, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. There's just so much, and it all blends. Like I feel like it's hard. It's so hard to like talk about these books because it's like what we know now, and then even when you read like Thorn of Glass and what happens there, which connects here and connects there, and then Crescent City connects, and then it all freaking connects, and you're just like the wheels are constantly turning in our heads, in everyone's heads on the internet, and I don't know. But Azriel is definitely my second. What's yours?
I don't know, because it's like I go back and forth. Like, obviously love Cassian because Cassian's like a huge just
yeah.
He's like a goof. I love him because he's like a fucking goof. But also I love Azriel too because like you said, he's just like mysterious and quiet, and like we just don't know that much about him yet.
Yeah. And I just think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
bad. It can't.
I think it's just like, I mean, like I don't know if he'll surpass like Rhysand, like when we finally get his book, which it better be. It better be. Again, if you have different opinions, feel free to type them below. But I swear to God, I
know
swear.
All her books are like in the female point of view. Like there's always like the main character is a female, but like, honey, you could skip the last book and just make Azriel main character.
Frick.
POV, all Azriel.
And see, I think that's where I also fight with myself because like everyone's like, oh no, it should be Elaine and Lucien, or like Elaine and Tamlin, and then I'm like team Elaine and Azriel. But like also like at the same time, I don't really care who Azriel ends up with as long as I get to read his book. So I don't really know.
One theory I've seen online that I hope it's not that, but we're also not going to talk about that.
There's too many.
There's too many theories.
There's too many theories, and I don't know. And I also think it's hard because we haven't really gotten that much on Elaine, that nothing about her has drawn me in.
Yeah, she's just
I'm just
quiet.
like, oh, she's quiet, like she's sweet, she's innocent, and like blah blah blah. And I'm sure Sarah J. Maas will alter my opinion when that book comes out, and I'm sure it'll be like Elaine's point of view or something. I don't know. But as far as like, I feel like I just can't, like, I don't know. Like there's nothing about her that is like, at least Nessa going in the cauldron before you read her book, you're like, oh, is she a bitch?
Yeah.
Like at least she's like entertaining. Like Elaine, you're just like, oh, that poor girl. You're just like, that poor female.
Like, I don't know if there could be, I mean, obviously there could be a book about her, but like like you said, like we just don't know like anything about her, and you can't like form an opinion on her because she's just so quiet and
like
she's in the background.
she grows flowers, but not food for her family.
I love the way you said that.
You're like, okay, like I don't. All right, I don't get it.
All right, so bad boys.
Okay, bad boys.
Bad boys.
Mm.
We love them.
I love them so much.
Who do you think has the biggest wingspan?
Fuck.
Azriel.
I think it's Azriel. I think it's Azriel. I really do. It is. Like, do I think Rhysand? Do they think all of them have parking cones? For sure.
Oh,
They're just all massive. But I think Azriel, I don't know. Like I said, I really think that she's gonna make him a freak. But again, if you also have other opinions about that, like who's your favorite Bat Boy? Like, is it Rhysand? Like, are you as basic as I am and it's just like Rhysand? Like, I feel like I'm gonna get like so much hate. Like, people are gonna be like, you dumb. Like, that is like,
it's just so hard
it's obvious.
It's like, obviously, when you read fast forward to the other books or whatever, like you learn more about certain people and you like them like so much more. That's why I can't wait for Azriel's book because I'm like, I know I already kind of like you, or I do like you, not kind of, but like I need to just we need more of Azriel. Yeah, I need more of Azriel.
I mean, when that 6th book comes out,
we're gonna do another readathon.
It's gonna be like, I can't come into work.
Yeah. I'm sick.
Straight up, like I can. I'm very excited about it. But the fan art for the Bat Boys, the fan art for all of the Sarah J. Maas books, like I mean, all of the Akatar, like I mean, even when it's not videos making fun of Tamlin, even the fan art for Tamlin, he's good. Like he's good looking. Like it's not like you're like, ew, he's just gross.
Would I choose him in a lineup of men?
No.
But
no. But I also think that I just really like dark features. Like it's hard for me. Like, and there's been a handful of fantasy books I feel like where they've been like them.
Most of them are dark haired.
Yeah, like it's more like morally gray, like dark haired men. But there's been a few where they've been like blonde, and it's like taken me a moment to be like, oh, okay. But then they do something so unhinged. I'm like, okay, that's okay, cool. Yeah, for sure. I'm on it. Like I'm on board.
Whoever creates all this fan art, we love you because it definitely brings
seriously
the book to life.
It brings. Yeah,
I don't think I said that right, but.
It
brings
does.
life to the book. There you go.
Yeah, it does. It also just helps because these books are so big and there's so many characters, and I'm just like, my imagination only runs so far before I'm like,
do not look at the fan art before you start the book.
No.
I made that mistake in another series, and I found out something very tragic.
Don't do what she did.
But I also like it because
series.
Dawn of Glass.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Not happy about that one, but
damn. Yeah, I feel like I got saved by not having so much like. I don't even know if I had. Like so, that's what I'm saying.
Once you get on Book Talk, like things get ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining because I love Book Talk.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I wish
just
I didn't know that.
Think I don't know. I feel like either I wasn't really on TikTok at the time that I was reading like these books, or it just wasn't a thing, and now it's like a thing. Like everyone, and it's crazy because like I feel like these books are old. Like it's not like I
was gonna say, aren't they like older?
Yeah, they're like older books. So I don't know. I think everyone's just finally
hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, hopping on the train and really understanding like what this is all about.
And it's so good.
And it's I try to convince.
She convinced me, and now I try to convince everybody to read them too.
Yes,
so good.
Like the Jehovah's Witness. You won.
She's like, "Have you read Akatar?" And the person goes to shut the door. She's like, "Wait,
you need to read this, okay? Let me help you." They're like, "I'm already happy with my life." I'm like, "But it could be better."
Yeah.
Okay. It could be a lot better. But anyways. Thanks for listening.
Yes,
and
thank you.
If you have any hidden fan art, if you have any ideas on, I guess we didn't really talk about like actors that we thought could play all these roles. If anyone has any like new cute actors that you think would be a good idea to play like the Bat Boys or any of the other characters, let us know. Also, let me just talk about for one split second how, and I'm sure a lot of you have also seen this, about like just like the normal men dressing up as the Bat Boys, and I'm just like, ew, please stop. It's so bad.
I love the whole idea of the fall like ball or whatever. I do, but
no. Like all the girls in like their pretty gowns, I'm just like, fair. Like they could be like, they have like the Fey like ears, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like whatever. But it's like when you dress up as the Bat Boys, it's like you are the Bat Boys. It's like you're not just like Fey, and I'm just kind of like, okay.
Don't ruin it for me.
And then I'm like always like, I just don't like. It's like their standard, like our standard for like the Bat Boys is like way up here, and then it's like these average men, and I'm like, why?
And also, side note, like, I'm glad like men are like reading these books.
Yes,
whatever. Like,
yes,
cool,
men
like,
can, men
can read the books.
Everybody can read the books.
But
I love it.
Time, like, don't dress up as the Bat Boys.
Yeah, don't do it.
Because I swear to God, if my fiance came home dressed up as a Bat Boy, the ick. I'd throw the book at him, but the ick would just be the ick.
Yeah.
Forever.
Luckily, Shane will never read these books.
Yeah, no, neither would Jeff.
That would not be a thing. So if you also have a man that has read these books, let us know, because our men wouldn't touch this shit with a 10-foot pole.
Every time they see us, they're like, oh, what are you talking about? Fairy Smith?
Fairy Smith. Fairy porn.
Yeah.
You know what?
I know. I don't think they actually call it smut. They're like, you're fairy porn. What are you watching or reading?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, they don't really get it. Not that I don't know if I would really want.
I would want them to. I would not.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, I was like, I don't really know. I don't really think I would really want them to. Like, this is like my thing, and I don't want it. I mean, I feel like Shane has like caught glances of some pages, and he's like, what the are you reading? And I'm just like, nothing. And I get like really like shy, and I'm just like, like, don't look at me.
Yeah. And I always feel like they come up at the worst time of the books. Like, I'll be reading a dark romance novel, and like all of a sudden, like, so what you reading? I'm like, like closing the book at like the best part.
It's like that funny video is just like, hey, checking in, and it's like, oh my God, where did you come from? Like every time I'm like, oh my God. Or you're just like reading about like whatever your dark morally gray character, and they're just like telling the female character how they would like burn the world down and murder anyone, and then your man's just like, what's for dinner? And you're like, oh my God, this is it. Like, it's over. It's time.
Yeah, but tell us
it's
either,
so
would
dumb.
You want your husband, fiance, boyfriend to read the books that you read? Because we definitely, I think we're on the same page that we wouldn't. So.
I don't think I would either. So definitely let us know. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if you want us to be nice when you let us know how we're doing.
We're new to this, so.
Let us know if there's anything else you want us to do or cover or make a short video about or anything like that. We can always talk about more alcoholic beverages based on characters. We could always look up like actual actresses and actors and see, take a poll, see who would be the best. I don't know. That's really hard. I also feel like I just am so out of tune with like who's young and new.
Yeah,
like
me too. Like I feel every time I picture like a strong, like burly man, I think of like the same three people, like Henry Cavill, Chris Hemsworth.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know why I said three people, because those are the first two that come to mind.
That's it.
For everything. So,
at least you have two. I can't even come up with anything. I'm just like Matthew McConaughey. Like, I'm just like
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, but he's
all right.
I know, but that's such a person that we watched growing up that it's just kind of like, now he's old, but like I can't think of any new.
Yeah,
I don't know any new actors or actresses,
but next week we will be covering the third book in the ACOTAR series, A Court of Wings and Ruin.
And it ruins you.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think that was one of my favorites too. So, all right. Well, so until next time.
Bye.
Bye.